obviously this show's about mistakes, Roger, and that everybody on the listens to this show wants to hear where people have screwed up and what they've learned from it. So what's a mistake that you've made that you are willing to share on the show, to be, honest? That's what we're here for.
I'm willing to share a lot of them because I've made so many. I'm trying to figure out which one might give you the best lesson for your listeners. It's funny. I've had a lot of people say to me over the years, because you mentioned like my company's been around for 27 years now. It's like, wow, must do everything right. Like, they'll say some version of that. I'm like, no, I get a lot of things wrong. I get a lot of things wrong. I do get things more right than wrong. And if you can do that 10% better, like if you can get things 10% right more than wrong, you're a success. Like, so it doesn't take a lot. I'll give you one story that happened recently. I started to discuss this a little bit in Paris at Worldcom, but we as a company made a massive mistake hiring somebody who was just toxic to the culture. And it ended up being a case where we weren't getting business because of this person. We had some good people like punch out, some of them without notice. And it just took a lot of growing pains to realize that this was a mistake and to get everybody on page to see that it was a mistake and start to take corrective action. So the lesson I learned here is that, and again, every company is different. My father had this saying, that's what's good for one marriage is poison for another. What I realized for my company, and I think for a lot of companies, this makes a lot of sense. When you're looking to grow and change, I don't know if I would bring in somebody new, particularly somebody who really doesn't understand the culture. I would rather groom people who've been with me for years, understand who we are and why we work the way we do, and find ways to get them into leadership positions to grow the company. So I will not make that mistake again.
I think any business owner has recruited a toxic member or two before.
Yeah.
It's how you learn. I mean, you just said there that you've made more mistakes. You've made more. You do 10% more success than mistakes. And actually, that's what life is in business. That's what life is.
Yeah.
Marketing itself, email, anything you do in marketing, is do something, fail, do something, fail, iteratively improve it, do something, fail. They call it A/B testing now, but basically it's A/B fucking up. That's what it is, isn't it?
It is
to,
that.
Version Z, and it's doing okay.
Yeah, the culture thing is really important, Chris, and we do make those mistakes. And honestly, my advice for the listeners would be, it doesn't have to be a leadership person. It could be literally the lowest person on the rung inside your organization, that kid that comes out of college. One bad apple ruins the cart or something like that, I think the saying is. Yeah, it can happen. One person who's toxic can really change the organization. And I would rather have someone who's a lesser of a performer, but fits in culturally, than a high performing person who's toxic.
Well, luckily Will's changed a bit now. He's not as toxic as he was when he started. So, oh God.
I mean, that's so true. I remember I read I used to subscribe to Seth Godin's daily wisdom, which was just absolute gold, and he addressed that once, that you should never compromise on culture ever, because you'll pay for it every single time. And it's absolutely true, isn't it? And I don't think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Was it Jim Collins? I think in Good to Great. I think it was that book where he wrote that culture eats strategy for lunch or something like that.
That's right. Yeah.
But
yeah, absolutely. I think we've got time for one more mistake, Roger, without wishing to push you too far. If you've got anything else you have to share, you shared a few in the pre-show.
Okay, I'll give you an AI one.
Good.
Because it's like 2 or 3 years ago, like AI really wasn't a thing. Although I had started an AI company that was machine-based learning and eventually went to ontology-based learning after ChatGPT. People think of just the LLMs as like, oh, we've got Claude, we've got, ChatGPT, and I can't remember, Microsoft's Copilot, right? There's Gemini, there's Perplexity. People think there's a handful of these things. There's not. There's tens and tens and tens of thousands of AIs out there. Everyone thinks they've got a better mousetrap. And we made the mistake of trying to build a kind of an enterprise AI for our company when all this was happening the last couple of years. And I'm not saying companies shouldn't do that. This is not the lesson. What I'm saying is that you need to evaluate if it's cheaper to rent than buy. That's not our core competency, right? After it failed, we found something else that was off the shelf that we can customize for the way we work, far cheaper than trying to build something, maintain something. And again, if that works for your company, that's great. But I think that's the exception. Like, I know that you guys have a software for your thing, and that works great. Now, whether or not you want to sell that and try to create something else, that's a different story. And I think a lot of people have these grandiose ideas that, you know, I'm going to build the next AI. It's a gold rush for AI. And so I'm just going to quote Mark Twain. In a gold rush, it better be the guy who sells picks and shovels. So let everyone have the gold rush trying to build stuff. I'm going to be the guy with the picks and shovels, using what's already there and finding ways to leverage it in ways that no one else is doing.